Dead Island Riptide, the sequel to Dead Island that launched in 2011 on the PS3, 360, and PC so many years ago. Dead Island Riptide, the successor, my bad, was a game that was first announced back in 2012, and originally it was going to be a DLC for Dead Island 1, but they ended up having it to be its own game because it was too big at the time for the hardware. Anyway, Dead Island Riptide continues where our heroes left off. Zambi, Logan, Ixion, I can't say her name right, and Perna, after they escaped from the island of Benor, which turned into a bloody hellfest, which was once a paradise. The game also features new protagonist, military man John Morgan, and players can import their stats and skill trees from the original Dead Island, or start fresh. As the game starts off, you see the man on a military aircraft carrier, and they are restrained by main antagonist Frank Serple and redeeming antagonist Colonel Sam Hardy, which they are being tested on since they're immune, and the prison guy and the native woman from the first game are only in the game for like a couple of minutes / seconds and are not seen again for the rest of the game. And how this ties into Dead Island Riptide story is because
just stay out of it. What the fuck, man? Don't do that again. One less immune won't make any difference. Now take him to the lab. You may have command over.
if you remember from Dead Island 1, that scientist says she's to source the infection, the Benor outbreak. So, Yerman, that bit that she did to that soldier, caused the entire ship to get overrun with zombies during the storm. After the player wakes up,
You alright?
after the ship crashes, we ended up on a new island, and we meet Harwell and other survivors in the island of Paranoid. And a strange infection outbreaks going on. We weren't. And boy, I know one thing, Harwell, she has a pretty face. I remember playing this game when I was 13, when it came out, and I said, boy, she's pretty.
It's spreading.
She's even more pretty in the remastered version.
Head for the Paradise Survival Camp.
So we head to the Paradise Survival Camp, help them clear out zombies because they're in an attack, blow up a bridge, and he ended up meeting Colonel Sam Hardy and the other three survivors. And Perna and Sam B are not happy, but we later learn, according to Sam Hardy, that the virus is being used as a super weapon, and that Immune's DNA is important to their research, and they gotta get moving because apparently, according to Sam Hardy, the island's about to get nukes. And so in this game, Dead Island Riptide, the goal for this story in this game is head to Henderson, because Hardy says they have food, supplies, equipment, and a way off Paranoid before the island gets nuked. So the survivors eventually find out the road to Henderson is blocked and they gotta find another way through, And during the story, this is where things get really strange. You meet this one guy who says the gods in a ritual can cure us, but turns out he just wants to eat them because he thinks he can cure them. One thing that's really interesting is when you meet Dr. Kessler, you learn the immune have this fury that they might not be able to control, and they could turn, which means they can lose their immunity if they get angry a lot, which I have to say, that was a pretty cool thing they added in the story, that the immune can lose their immunity. As you progress through the game, you get through tunnels that have mutation in this, and this is where you learn the player, the hero, is in grave danger after being exposed to the mutation and the fury, because you see this character named Wayne, Harlow pushes him into the mutagen to see what would happen if someone that was infected got exposed to it. And this is what happened.
We did it!
Thank God we're through. I didn't think I'd ever see daylight again.
Mate, are you okay? Shit. What happened to you?
Somebody pushed me.
Hey, man, what happened? Who pushed you?
Stay away!
What the hell is that?
All of us in danger! What? What is it? Oh, shit!
What?
He's gonna turn.
Maybe we can restrain him.
Oh God, no.
There's nothing to be done. I knew he was bitten, so I pushed him.
What? What the hell were you thinking?
He was already lost. You would have left him behind. But I had to know what that mutagen would do to someone who was infected.
Oh my God!
What the fuck? Jesus! Look at him!
So you eventually get to Henderson on a ferry after a fight with some prisoners and holding ground. You find out the town is overrun, it's been overrun, you end up in a theater, meet this woman, and then you get sent to the military base in a mission by Colonel Sam Hardy to see if there's a way off and contact. And you eventually find Serpo, and he eventually reveals that there's no nuking the island, that Sam Hardy lied, which is upsetting to see that he lied. Makes him look like a jerk, and yeah, you can't trust him, but Sam Hardy, he did it for the good reasons, in my opinion, because if he didn't tell, everyone would just stood there and they would have died waiting for help. So to me, Colonel Sam Hardy did the right thing. And one thing I forgot to mention, once you reach this part, Harlow disappears for a while and doesn't return to the bitter end.
What? Harlow? Are you positive? Okay, get her. Do it. Just don't let her get away.
Sorry about that. Time's running short. I'm sending you a chopper. What's your location?
Old Town Cinema.
Watch yourself with Hardy. The man cannot be trusted. That chopper's on its way.
So Serpo sends a helicopter. As you see in this cutscene, you can probably guess what's going to happen, that they only want the immune. And this is probably one of the only few depths where in this entire game that you'll feel upset and feel bad for and be like, man, why did they kill him off in this scene?
Hey! What are you waiting for? I outrank you, officer, and I am ordering you to let those people off.
Sorry, sir. I have my orders. First the immune.
And then the rest of you.
Cut the crap. You take these people right now or you get none of us.
I told you this would happen. I'm getting on.
Sir, take one more step and I have no choice but to open fire.
Why are you doing this?
Drop your weapon.
Lower your weapon, now!
Get off the ladder, sir.
Don't you threaten us!
You will answer for your actions, soldier.
Land, now, or we shoot you down!
Put it down or you die.
This is my last warning, sir. I have my orders.
After Colonel's death, you eventually find Serpo in the crash helicopter. He tells you about Harwell trying to steal stuff from the quarantine zone. So you enter the quarantine zone, and this is where probably the second biggest death out of this entire game that affects you in the last boss
please.
battle.
You don't have to do
I
this.
have
to. It's gone too far now.
Try to control it. I know you can do
I'm trying, but all this never should have happened. Help me destroy it. Bury it. All of it. We can't let them use it anymore. We can't let them do what they did to Palanai. Not again.
What are you saying?
They did this. The outbreak on Palanai, it was them. To test their bioweapons. And the mutagen, it will destroy us all. You won't be able to control it. It will control you.
We can use the antidote.
Don't you understand? There is no antidote. They caught me when I tried to sneak in here. They tested the mutagen on me, not knowing what it would do. They didn't know I was immune like you. Look what it turned me into. I killed them all. We won't be able to stop it. That's why we have to destroy it, before it destroys everything.
Harlow, we can control it. We can escape here and look for help.
There is no help. We can't escape. None of us can. We're too dangerous. We can never leave this island. Ever.
Harlow, no! To do this, Harlow!
This is the only way. You're simply too dangerous. Which is why I can't let you leave. More infected. If you don't back off,
As Harwell says, the immune can't leave, or the rest of the world will end up like this. And you eventually learn that they had this plan this whole time, Frank Serpo and his men, to test it as a bioweapon,
She's gonna turn
which
into one of those
has
freaks.
happened in other typical zombie stuff, so which is disappointing. But the final boss battle is a bit difficult, but once you get the mutagen, you're able to kill Harlow. And this is the death that I did not like a lot, because I really did like Harlow as a character. And her final words, as you see, is warning about the dangers and angels of death.
Now, are you positive she's dead?
She told me the truth, Serpo. All of it.
What did you expect? That we tested in London or New York? Come on. Don't be naive. We had to get information, data about how the virus mutates, how it evolves, if it's possible to control it. You can only do so much of that in the lab.
You're out of your mind!
We can discuss the morality of the situation later. For now, I have a ship and a medical team standing by. All of their equipment is state-of-the-art. And once we're on board, you have my word that we'll do whatever it takes to treat you.
I don't need your help to get off this island. I already found the cutter.
I know you took a mutagen. I can see it plain as day. You can't control it. You can't stop it. If you want any chance of a normal life, you need to come with me.
Fuck off, Serpo!
You'll see. You can't leave me here! You fucking freaks! Get back here, you fucking freaks! You don't know what you're doing!
Thank you for coming back for us. I am so very sorry. I lost faith in you.
How are you feeling?
A-OK, Doc. Never better.
I have a little headache, but otherwise I'm perfectly fine.
This Serpo. Yeah. He won't be bothering us anymore.
What about Harlow?
We couldn't help her.
Yeah, she decided to stay.
So as you escape the island, Serpil dies, and then it says 6 days later, and you warn about apparently stuff is returning to normal, but nor in Paranoia.
Report that the crisis is over. Life is slowly returning to normal as rescue crews clean up the aftermath of the monsoon that swept through the archipelago. All travel to and from the region is still prohibited as the rescue operation continues. Rumors of a possible plague outbreak have been discredited as international relief organizations continue to assess the situation.
On my zombie train, all aboard, kill abroad, leave a bloody, soap the stain, won't play games.
So the ending of Dead Island Riptide apparently is that the mutagen affected the immune characters and they turned into zombies. And they wound a new island. That's the story of Dead Island Riptide. Nothing perfect, nothing special. But this game was never really meant for its story. Like, there's not many characters you grow attached to. Like, there's the heroes, Harlos, Colonel, Zoe, Trevor, some side, but there's not really much that you will grow attached to. So this game really wasn't meant for its story. And the voice acting is great and all, but there's not many characters you like. And this game, if you want an emotional game, you're not getting this out of Dead Island Riptide. Dead Island's not that emotional game that they advertise in their trailers, unfortunately. So that's the story, but moving on next to personal experience, those 6 years ago when I played this game, the world and the game. When I first played Dead Island Riptide 6 years ago on my PlayStation 3, I did not know what type of game I was getting into. I did not know this game was first person. I only watched a couple of trailers, and I got this game because when I actually had friends in real life 6 years ago, they told me about the game, how fun it was, and how the first one was. So I had no idea what I was expecting getting into this game. So I got it. I got the special edition back then on PS3, and I enjoyed it, but I wasn't really much into the story. I just wanted to play co-op with my friends when I had friends at the time, before they betrayed me years later, which still hard to believe I didn't see that coming. When I started up the game and went into my playthrough, I felt the game was easy because I found a weapon in this area back then on PS3 that had unlimited ammo, and when you shot zombies, it blew them up. And I wasn't excited before because we had a code what character to play as, so I was stuck with this character to play as. But now, years later, I'm really glad I was forced to play as her because she is the best in my opinion. So looking back at the game now, let's see what it does. We all know Dead Island Riptide is set in the island of Paranoia, but unlike the first Dead Island where it took place in Paranoia, where it featured beaches, towns, paradise areas, and jungle, this game only features jungle and city and a couple of few villages. So the map is really different, and which is disappointing, is that there's not many beaches or paradise parts until the end of the game. So, and we all know Dead Island Riptide is not a game about story, unfortunately. Dead Island's core comes into its gameplay. Hacking and slashing limbs off zombies and heads can be extremely fun and hilarious at times. Your weapons play a big role in Dead Island Riptide. While there's firearms, shotguns, sniper rifles, ammo is very scarce in this game, so the stars of Dead Island and Riptide are melee weapons. You can upgrade these melee weapons by finding mods, attachments, adding lightning mods to it, flammable mods, poison mods to your weapons, and it comes in handy against zombies because these zombies are tough, really tough. This game can be played into 4-player co-op, which can help the experience and make it a bit easy, but you don't want to underestimate these things. Like, there's the walkers. They're slower, but you really don't want to underestimate these walkers because they travel in packs and they can grab you and take you down pretty easy. Then there's the Sug, as you see in this gameplay. A super big tall zombie that takes tons of hits and will not go down easy with weak weapons. If you have the right weapon and some mods attached to it, it can come in handy. But this zombie, when you're first starting out, you're gonna have some trouble doing it, killing this thing. Each zombies have their weaknesses and strengths. There's the infected that runs super fast, and boy, these little buggers can run. And they'll give you a scare a bit. My best recommendation is to climb ladders, throw flares to get them distracted before they catch you in this game. This game also features other different types of zombie opponents. You'll find more as you progress through the game, and you can learn info about them in Dr. Kessler's notebook, which when you pause the game, you have this notebook and you can read facts, weaknesses about these zombies. There's other different types, as there's the floaters that swim in water. Well, not swim, well, they lay in water. One thing I will say about this game, unlike the first one, is water in Dead Island Riptide is extremely annoying. It slows you down, which, duh, water does that, but there's too much water and it's really, really annoying. And when you're playing and you have to go someplace from water, make sure you park your boats close to you because it's a real pain to hop across the water and get to it. And zombies are really, really tough. Especially the floaters. Those things can run. New to Dead Island Riptide is the ability to see the other 4 playable characters you don't play as. In the original, you didn't see them when you were playing by yourself, and it was so weird, like, why are they not there? This game also features a team system where you can do quests for your team, deliver them some parts and certain objectives, and you can upgrade their weapons, so when it's time to defend your hub, which in certain parts of the story you do, they have a stronger chance and are a bit stronger to survive. One of the best things about Dead Island is defending your hub when it comes to certain objectives and missions. During the game, you will have to defend your home base, or HQ, whatever you want to call it. Like, for example, in this one part where you're trying to drain water, you can put up fences to barricade, but it will break, but you could get the lightning. And what I suggest you do is do these side quests. Like, help your team level up so they have better weapons to survive, because you're gonna have to help them. And this game is hard. Like, killing zombies is not that easy, and an advantage like that comes in handy when you help. So do those side quests, and especially do those missions for Zoe, because she can give you help with the fences. One thing I've learned about Dead Island now that I'm older is that this was not just a normal zombie first-person survival game. This game is an RPG survival role-playing game. This game has RPG elements. As you level up, the enemies will level up with you, like games like Fallout, Skyrim, and any other RPGs. And just like those games, this game has skill trees, where as you progress and level up, you choose what to level up as. Either Fury, Combat, or Survival. You either can pick right away, or if you're not sure, wait. Which makes your character strong and unlock new abilities to fight, which makes the game a bit easier. Traveling in Dead Island Riptide can be a real pain. especially when you have quests where you gotta carry things. There's vehicles like cars to travel in, and these boats to travel in, where you can put items in for quest items. Say like you deliver gas or something important. These boats are pretty fast, and they can escape zombies pretty well, but if you are slow and you are using your speed way too fast, zombies can get on and knock you down. The boats don't have much protection, but it's pretty cool to have these type of boats. One thing I'll recommend doing is rescue NPCs in danger from monsters, because they can help you level up and give you weapons. The world of Dead Island Riptide also features dungeons known as dead zones, where you can find parts and stuff that is very special and rare, and fight zombie bosses and clear them out and help you level up and get XP. And also you learn some story about these zombies. They have some special story to it, as you find in Dr. Kessler's notebook, which is Dead Island also features returning hidden audio recordings and guides where you learn more about the story, which gives the game more of a story. And I learned now, years later, John had a wife and a daughter, which I didn't know before. And this Angelina is the most emotional thing in the game. It's pretty cool that they do this like Easter eggs, but it's also pretty sad that this is the only thing that gives the game a little bit more of a story. I played Dead Island Riptide, and I started this definitive edition playing single player a bit. Had an enjoyable experience. Then I met two strangers that are now basically my Dead Island Dying Light team now, that we call it. We have a group chat, and these guys were just strangers, and we had a good time fighting zombies, trading weapons, helping each other complete quests, level up, pointing out where blueprints are in secret files. You'd never see that much from players on a game like this. And co-op is the best way to experience Dead Island Riptide and Dead Island. I never experienced it much on PS3 like this back then. Even though I've said a lot of good stuff about Dead Island Riptide, unfortunately, this game has lots of flaws, and I mean tons of them, including the world of this game. Dead Island, unfortunately, does not fix the clunky movement and the awful hit detection, because look at some of this gameplay. Like, I'm right there and I didn't even touch them. Dead Island really has clunky movement and really weak hit detection. Like, look at this chainsaw. You can make this thing with water, but look, it's missing it so many times. Even when I move closer, I don't understand. Like, seriously, why is it missing? Another thing that upsets me is, why did they take the rain out in the definitive edition? Why is there no night cycle? Like, why is there no day to night cycle? I really think this game would have been more fun and intense if it had a night cycle, because especially the way the zombies are, it would have been more fun. And this game would be so much fun if it had a night cycle, but we didn't get that, unfortunately. One thing I always heard for years, and people would say this game's repetitive. I really didn't believe until I played this game again years later, and I must say it's true, some of it. This game can be really repetitive at some points.
Thank you. So, here.
And get boring. Most of the missions and side quests, you either have to go find items and deliver people or save people, then they'll say deliver this. It gets pretty. And here's another thing that upsets me. The mission where Wayne turns into a zombie, and this is just a small thing with the AI. I get they were making this game difficult, but why is your companions just standing there when you have to fight this giant monster? Imagine doing this by yourself, which I've done before, back in the day, without any super weapons, without any modded weapons. It would take a long time to kill this thing. Like, why are they just standing there, not shooting or trying to help you out? I feel like the AI could have done more in this situation, and in real life you would. While Dead Island and Riptide may have its flaws, it's a good game. Like, it's a decent element that Deep Silver and Techland tried to do, making an RPG zombie game. Unfortunately, it may sold a lot of copies, but it just didn't work out too fine. How I think this game would have been better if they would have made this game one, fixed their clunky movement, made missions less repetitive. Other ways I think this game could have been better is if they would have introduced a night cycle. And another thing I think they could have did better was make us have our cars to be upgraded to put some stuff on to protect them. Which I feel like cars could have did some more work in this game. And I think this game also would have been better if they would have continued having that bloodbath arena mode. It would have gave the game some more stuff to do and more trophies to find if they would have had that survival bloodbath arena. Which I'm surprised it's not in Riptide, unfortunately.
You alright?
Horrible DLC. I feel like this game, if it would have did so well and sold a lot of copies and got good reviews, I feel like this game would have been good to have a horrible prequel DLC to see her adventures, why she was sent on the island, because she says she was sent there, and see her get bit for the first time, like a DLC they did for Ryder White from the original. It would have been nice to have a horrible prequel DLC and see the start of the outbreak. We probably would have got one if this game would have been more successful. I honestly feel that way, but unfortunately, we didn't. And my final thoughts on this game, it's a good game. It's fun finding these modded weapons. It's interesting finding all these hidden guides and all these audio tapes. Hacking, slashing away zombie parts is probably the best enjoyable part. The game is fun, either in single player or multiplayer co-op. It's fun having 4 people. The game does have some replay value because you can see the different skill trees of each character, what they have, and how they talk to the NPCs in the story. Like, the world is good. But unfortunately, with clunky movement, not much of a story, repetitive gameplay, this game, unfortunately, is not that good compared to the original, even though the original was pretty much the same thing. But the thing that sold this game was its emotional trailers. If it wasn't for those trailers and Dead Island being open world, I don't think this game would have sold so well and been much as a craze it was, because this game really does not have much die-hard fans. Like, I know there's some out there, but unfortunately this game wasn't much loved. If this game would have been more good, let's say if it would have been really loved and we could have had more Dead Islands, but fortunately Techland fixed all that up with 2014's parkour open world survival game Dying Light. So unfortunately Dead Island Riptide didn't do so well, but it gave birth to this IP. So looking back at this game 6 years later, it's a fun game, but if you were expecting an emotional, story-driven game, this is not your game. So, do I recommend you buy this game 6 years later? Yes, I recommend it for fun co-op experience and hacking away zombies and blueprints. You just gotta get past the story being weak and repetitive gameplay. Alright, this is Kirk. I would like to say thanks for watching the review, and this is Dead Island 6 years later.